Lee, thanks so much for coming on the Scholarship GPS podcast. I've been looking forward to speaking with you for quite some time. So the listeners and the viewers know who you are. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Well, hey, everybody. I'm super happy to be here. My name is Lee Norwood. And about 6 years ago, I started my career as a one on one college coach, college counselor, helping families find the right school for their student. And through that, I've kind of seen where there's gaps in that process, what people don't know in that process. And I have a team. I've grown my business quite a bit. I've got a team of about 4 people that work on one college counseling. I also am totally involved in a bunch of associations that college counselors are involved in, and I speak at their industry conferences and stuff. So people have said I'm becoming a thought leader in the business. I don't know. That makes me uncomfortable, but hey, I think everybody has a little imposter syndrome every once in
Yeah.
a while, but we've gotten some great press, and we have just decided that we need our message to get to more people, not just the people that can afford, that one-on-one coach.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so is that where college sharks come in? What is different for college sharks compared to traditional one-on-one college advising?
Well, thank you so much for asking that question because, our one on one is exactly it. You either get us unlimited in a comprehensive package, soup to nuts, or you can buy an hourly package where we have a minimum of 12 hours because we really like to know to really get your student,
Sure.
understand who they are. And through that process, we're helping build lists, we're helping you decide what your college preferences are because at 16 and 17, you don't know. But
Hmm.
hey, you can choose palm trees or pine trees when you look out your dorm window.
Yeah.
And we work very closely with those kids, but we're limited by the number of students we can help. So we thought, how do we duplicate our process and how do we reach more people? So we took our 2 year process and broke it into about 57 very short videos, lots of graphics, super fun. And now you can do it yourself at about a tenth of the cost of a
Wow. Okay.
one-on-one consultant. So you're getting all our info, you're getting to look at us and interact with us, but they're on-demand videos. So you do it in the comfort of your own home when you have time. We'll tell you what to do, when, why it's important. So yeah, we're launching. I've got a lot of big press behind us thinking it's just the answer that parents have been looking for. Just that guide when your high school counselor has 400 kids to deal with. How are
Hmm.
you getting that personalized attention, and how do you know you're getting the right info? So that's
Right.
what we developed College Sharks for. So it's our virtual do it yourself college consulting with a workbook. Gotta love a workbook. Gen X loves a workbook. So
Yeah.
most of the parents have a workbook they can work with. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was in the same boat a couple years ago and realized that I can only work one-on-one with so many students, and so that's why I created my scholarship GPS course. So totally understand. I think it's a great way to reach more people at a more potentially affordable price for them, and to still get that same needed information. So that's awesome.
It is.
Is
And funny that you say that your course, because your course is, of course, featured in College Sharks in our additional information and great places to go. Because, I don't do the outside scholarships. So
Yeah.
we dovetail beautifully together.
Yes. Yep.
Um, so yeah, Scholarship GPS is just an add-on and an additional resource for College Sharks. So thank you for doing that. And we know courses are the way to go because people's schedules are busy and they
Yeah.
want to watch on demand.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I even for the people I still do one-on-one coaching for, I do fairly regular client webinars, and I would say a very small percentage of those people attend, but they all end up watching the recordings. And like you said, people have busy schedules, so I think the days of live interactions are. I'm not going to say they're going away forever, but it's certainly the technology has made getting the right information to the right people at the right time possible. So that's awesome.
It has. It really has. But we're never going to be replaced
Yeah.
by a chat GPT or a robot because this is a highly, highly personal
Yeah.
decision, highly personal journey. So you want a person who can hear you. That's why we also have a Facebook group
Hmm.
If you ask a question, one of our experts will, we've got Jackie, our SAT and ACT expert. We've got you, our scholarship expert. Will come on, and my whole team, and answer your question within 24 to 48 hours. And then we are doing a quarterly roundup. So every quarter, everyone is invited. Where
Hmm.
should you be right now? And we'll do a live Q&A. So, you know, for $59 a month or $600 a year, you can't beat it because you're not guessing. We really base everything on facts, the common data set,
Hmm.
what last year's class looked like. I use a software called Counsel More that really has all the data in it so we can help these kids and these families, because you can go down a rabbit hole of misinformation, especially if you're getting it
Yes.
from another parent on the sideline at your kid's soccer game.
Yeah.
Probably not relevant to you.
Yep.
So, yeah,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess this might be somewhat obvious, but I'm going to ask, who is this for? And I guess related to that, like when should people start jumping into College Sharks?
that's a great question. Uh, who is it for? This is for parents, it's for kids, right?
Okay.
The videos, some are really going to resonate with the parents, maybe the financial aid. They're in
Mm,
different buckets: building your list, standing out, choosing classes, pulling it all together, and then getting merit aid and scholarships. So, all those different buckets have a different level of importance to different people. But we also, have these short videos available for people who do what I do, which is independent college consulting. If they want to bring more students into their business, this is a great way to bring a really prepared student in, right? They watch the 4 really short videos. I'm talking 8 minutes. It's all
mm,
sharks. It's colorful and fun. I think my partner and I are super funny. I've watched a lot of other people's stuff and I'm yawning.
yeah.
We're not yawny people at
Yeah.
all. So it's also for other IECs. It's embedded in the software Counsel More that we use. You can buy the essay clinic, and then you get a kid that comes to you as the coach, ready and already knowing what the process is, what colleges are looking for, stuff like that. And then what we're really hoping, is that independent schools and things that don't have the money or the resources to really give their kids that one-on-one that they may need,
Hmm.
especially in low income areas,
Hmm.
this thing's already built.
Yeah.
If you could find someone to write you a grant, we'll license it to a school, and those kids will all have, just really strong level of help to back them up. So, yeah, we're always going to have the one on one. We're always going to have the guy who wants to carry the Louis Vuitton. But if you're looking for a dupe or a knockoff, or you'd rather shop at Target, we do have that price point for you. But the quality is the same.
That's fantastic. Well, one of the things I run into, or I hear from parents a lot, is my kid won't listen to me. Is that something that you hear, and is that an issue that College Sharks can as a workaround?
So it's so funny. You've got to go look at my Instagram. Everything is at College Sharks. Just today, a parent was like, I want to thank you so much for helping guide us through this process. I couldn't take another eye roll from my son.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
we were all that kid who was way smarter than we thought we were, right? And we just knew so much more than our parents. When
Hmm.
you have a third party come in and giving it to you with the facts behind it, it's a lot more helpful. And then the parent can come back to the student better organized and knowing, what is college, applying to college, like in this decade, because it
Yeah.
ain't the
Yeah.
80s and it ain't the 90s and it's
Yep.
not even the 2000s. So
Hmm.
we're really keeping you up on that cutting edge. You had asked before, when do you start? If I
Yeah.
could have a perfect solution for everybody, I would have everybody start with me this summer before junior year, whether that was one on one or College Sharks. So,
Okay.
College Sharks has a really strict 2 year timeline. You're going to have it in the show notes. Anybody can download that, take it, put it on your refrigerator. It will save all the arguments that you
Hmm.
don't want to have with your
Hmm.
kid. Um, we are going to start a sophomore group of videos. It's a little less intense. We know the
Yeah.
junior year is the most important year.
Hmm.
And we're going to have a homeschool to college and a college athletes portals that you can add in if those are things that you need. But
Oh, cool. Okay.
perfect, with the way we do it, we opened August and September in July. So you can go forward a month or two, but then
Okay.
we don't open it any further, but you can
Yeah.
always go back. So let's say
Yep.
you start in January, you'll have all the content from August.
Yeah. So just got to play a little bit of catch up if you start a little later, right?
Yeah, you got to play to win. I never
Yep.
know why the lottery gave up that slogan. I loved
Yeah.
it. You got to play to win. So you got to get
Yeah.
in and do it. You can catch up super quickly. Um, and just being educated makes everything easier. I mean, go try to play pickleball when you never even read the rules. You look like a
Hmm.
fool. But as soon as you read what it's like and you watch someone else do it, you're like, okay, there is a strategy to this.
Yeah.
Okay, I am going to break a sweat.
Hmm.
Oh, that's how you score. So just coming with knowledge that just changes the game.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. And same for scholarships. It's anybody can throw a scholarship application out there, but you need to learn the strategy behind it. You need to learn from people who've had success. Um, and clearly, the students you've worked with have gone on to get into fantastic schools and the schools that they were looking for. So
Yeah,
that's
so what's
awesome.
a fantastic school, Dave?
Well, I think, in my opinion, it's a school that is where the student's going to thrive and they're going to get the outcome they're looking for. I think a lot of people spend a lot of time thinking about, quote, the perfect school, and they may be chasing a name or their favorite football team or the perfect weather. And in my opinion, those things are much less important than is the school a good fit for the student? Do they have the major the student wants? Was talking with an SAT coach recently, and he was telling me about a student he worked with who wanted to go into nursing, and she shared her list of colleges with him, and he said, "You have this college on here. You want to go into nursing, right? Yeah. Well, this school doesn't even have a nursing program." So yeah, this is the kind of thing that people need college sharks for, right? They need to understand how to select a college that's going to be a fit for them.
And how to get off of the usual suspects tour.
Yeah.
Whenever I
Yep.
talk to a parent, if they rattle off 5 schools, I immediately know if they're in the usual suspects tour. I know
Right.
the schools that all the kids from we have offices in like 5 different areas. So in each area, those kids like certain schools. And then there's a huge push for the SEC right now.
Hmm.
That's why it's getting harder and harder to get in.
Yep.
Uh, so I need you to open your mind and say, okay, I live in Maryland. I've never really heard of Indiana
Hmm.
University. But when Lee says they've got one of the best business schools in the country, maybe I ought to just not be putting my head in for UPenn or Maryland because they're next door to my home.
Yeah.
Maybe I should also look at Indiana. Maybe Indiana that year's looking for kids from Maryland. You never know, but they weren't thinking that. Or I'll have somebody who says they want to be a writer, and I boom, go right to Iowa. Probably the
Hmm.
best, one
Hmm.
of the best writing programs in the country. And a lot of people just went, "Wait, what? Iowa?" Yeah,
Yeah.
an amazing school too for the right kid. And
Yep.
just knowing those and then the little gems. I went to Elon. It was a college and not a university. Elon just bought Queens College in
Saw that.
Charlotte, so it's
Yeah.
growing. But those small niche kind of colleges, they're perfect for some kids. I mean,
Yeah.
I knew the president when I walked across the stage and graduated. I got a job before I even left the school.
Yep.
So kind of knowing that there are smaller schools out there that are fantastic
Yeah.
that you
Yep.
didn't even look at before.
Absolutely. One of the things you mentioned, kind of not in passing, but I didn't stop you there, was that high school guidance counselors have a lot on their plate. Sometimes working, you said 400, but I've seen schools where they're working with 700, maybe almost 1,000 kids. Um, is this is College Sharks addressing that issue where these counselors don't have the time, the resources to really guide the student in the college planning, college application process that many parents think is automatically happening?
Right. Typically, first of all, guidance counselors are overwhelmed, and so
Yeah.
much of their job is choosing classes and worried about discipline.
Yeah.
My son went to middle school. I'll never forget the vice principal called me one day and goes, "I have a feeling Cole's going to be a frequent flyer here. So let's make a plan." Right. So they are dealing with those things. And
Yep.
then they can't think of you juniors. I still have to make sure my seniors all said yes, found the right school. I've updated the computer. So we're rolling into, you know, the end of senior year, and your juniors are biting their fingernails going, when are we going to start talking about this?
Hmm.
So this is a great plan for that, because it's getting, again, they will have a student who's so grateful to be there in their office because they
Right.
know the value of the relationship now. They know they're going to have to ask for teacher recommendations and counselor recommendations. And I just think everybody's meetings are going to be way more efficient if you bring someone to the table who knows what's going on. So here's another quick thing. This could be complete hearsay, but even if it is, I do it now. I've heard that Elon Musk takes the first 10 minutes of every meeting and he goes in and he says, "You all know what we're talking about today. I'm going to give you 10 minutes to get caught up." And he leaves and goes and gets some stuff done. Because
Okay.
if not, you've got those overwhelmed people that didn't want to address the meeting until they were in the meeting.
Hmm.
You've got a lot of page turning while you're doing the meeting. Like, give them the grace of getting up to speed right now for what's going to happen right next. And I think I do that with my kids now. I'm turning off my camera. You have 10 minutes to get all your assignments done, because you shouldn't even have booked a meeting if you weren't done. So,
Right.
kind of it, I think that if schools could embrace it, and I think public school systems are they're just such red tape, but I think of independent schools or schools that don't have a counselor, this is going to be great, because those motivated kids are going to know what's going on. And they're also going to understand, Dave, that if you're broke and brilliant, these schools will fill your need based aid
Hmm.
gap. And
Hmm.
so many families are like, "Oh, I can't do that. I'm not going to be able to afford college." Well, if you have a super smart and motivated student and your income level is low, you're going to be really surprised at the amount of need based aid
Yep.
that your
Yep.
kid's going to get. And that's the tale of, if we looked at the world, I want that 50% that's not even considering college because they just don't even think it's on the table. I want
Hmm.
them to know it's on the table.
Yeah. Yep. I just want to make sure that the listener is clear, since I brought up the question about guidance counselors and you talked about how they can use it. But this is also a program for families, individuals, correct?
That's really what it was built for.
Yeah.
It is
Yep.
built for parents of and college bound teens. That is who it's for. Um, yeah, just give yourself the leg up you deserve, so you know what's going on. You're not spinning in circles. You're not feeling late when you're not late. That is really who it's for. Um, we're hopefully it's going to grow from that. I mean, we're about to be on a television show in the
I was going to
spring.
bring that up. I heard a rumor that you were going to be on TV. Can you talk at all about that?
I want a neck lift first or something. Or like, I'm going to go get a makeover so I have better color, I guess. Um, Yeah, there's a new show that's coming out. It's focused a little bit on education and growing your business. So the reason they asked us is because we're hitting, how do you scale, right? That's a big
Mhm.
buzzword right now. How do you
Yeah.
scale your business? Well, you have to have a defined process and it has to be duplicatable. All right, great. My software, Counselmore, does that for me in my practice. But then, um, how do you grow and serve more people? Like, that membership based monthly kind of thing can really meet people where they're at. And I
Mhm.
think and I don't like where they're at. I've always heard you don't end a sentence in a preposition, but everybody says it now.
Yeah.
So I just said it. But we meet people where they are. And I think that it will take a lot of stress off of a lot of people. And hey, some of you might be listening going, "I'm going to join in December and watch back the 6 months before and only pay for 1 month." Go for it. Do it. If you sign up for the 14-day free trial, you can download the workbook and watch everything through November right now. Like, we just want more kids getting up to bat.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. This is fantastic. I love that you've put this together. I think this is going to be a great resource. And like you said, it's a great 1-2 punch for people to go through College Sharks and Scholarship GPS. And you talked about those bright kids from low income families. Well, I also want to say, yes, love working with them, but I'm also very happy to work with um, middle of the road students from middle income families. Like there's lots of outside scholarship opportunity for you there. So I think students who are willing to put in the time and effort can find the right college and they can find ways to pay for it for the most part.
You're right. I agree. And that middle of the sandwich, the peanut butter and jelly in the middle, we're the ones that make too much money to get need-based
Yes.
aid.
Yep.
But we don't make enough money to just say, "Hey, I'm writing a check for full price." So
Exactly.
I come in and try to find schools that are going to discount their tuition because they want you. And then you come in and show additional what we call outside
Yep.
scholarships because the middle of the sandwich gets the shaft.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important for families to really understand how college pricing works
hmm
and that you can get a discount at some schools if you put the right schools on your list. And
Right.
then, um, yeah, I mean, for you, some of those scholarships, that hour that it takes to write that essays could make you $500. I don't make
Oh,
that much money.
yeah. Way more than that. It could, depending on the
Right.
scholarship.
So it's cool.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's a great 1-2 punch. You're absolutely right. And the price point is awesome.
Yeah. Lee, anything else you want the listeners and viewers to know before I let you go?
Well, I want them to know that I've really enjoyed working with you since I met you.
Yeah.
I have all of my students subscribe to your newsletter and they get a scholarship a day in their mailbox. And I think that that is so super cool. You take something off my plate that I'm not good at, which is those outside scholarships. So I thank you for your cooperation and working with me. And I just want every high schooler out there to just do one thing for me. Well, maybe two.
Mhm.
One, check your damn email. Check
Yeah.
your email. Email is the vehicle. It's not changing. If you're not checking your email, you're left behind. And it's how colleges tell you you're in, and it's how colleges tell you you got money. So
Yep.
check your email. And the second thing is don't run around doing stuff just to get into college. Protect
Mhm.
your private time, your mental health, and go about this in a strategic way because the Tasmanian devil does not do well in college.
Yep. Love it. I couldn't have said it better myself. Lee, thanks so much for coming on the podcast. Great seeing you again, and look forward to having you on in the future.
Thank you. See you on the television show.
Yeah.